Hey y'all, Mike with Cardboard Kingdom. Welcome back to another Disney Lorcana video. Today we are going to be talking about something that I've talked about quite a few times on the channel historically, and that is first print Disney Lorcana. I've had several comments on the channel recently on videos from yesterday and even last week of people talking about first print and how they think it'll hold a premium and things like that. And I just wanted to open a discussion because I know where I sit on this discussion, but I think the community is pretty split, and I'd love to hear some feedback on where you guys sit. So I'm going to kind of try to paint both pictures. Now, I obviously have a bias, and it's, to bury the lead, it's not for first print Disney Lorcana, but I'm going to give kind of the pros, the cons, give my thoughts on it. But I really want you guys to give me your thoughts in the comments, because at the end of the day, no matter what I think, these boxes have been going for a premium forever, right? And so I am misaligned with the market. I would not pay these prices, but at the end of the day, the market and the community will. And so, I might think it's overpriced. The market does not, and so that's kind of where we're at, and that's where we've been. But I just feel like as time goes on, these boxes, the gap's going to close between the cases of second print, third print, whatever print you want to call it, and first print. So to start, we'll get into the kind of the pros of first print and what first print is, etc. So right now, and historically, first print has been anywhere between 3x to sometimes even 5x the price of a traditional booster box or booster box case. So this listing here is the cheapest that I could find. First print, Disney Lorcana, the first chapter, booster box case sealed from the US. It is listed for $3,000 or best offer. There has been sales a month ago as high as $3,500, and there's been sales as low as close to $2,000. As it relates to this particular product, I would say $3,000 is probably the average. If they send it to auction, it'd probably go for anywhere between $2,000 to $2,500, give or take, right? Obviously, it just depends on the bidders. Takes two to tango, etc. But at the end of the day, it's anyway. If this person got, if they sent it to auction, it'd probably go for around $2,500 would be my guess. So it's roughly 2.5, 3x the price right now of a traditional booster box case, and I think that at most, we are talking about something that maybe should have like a 50% increase in price on a traditional booster box case. So if a booster box case right now is going for $1,000, maybe 1,500 would be like a fair price. I honestly wouldn't even pay that if in a vacuum, if someone came to me and said, "Hey, Mike, I have a first print booster box case that I want to get rid of right now. A booster box case is $1,000, right? A second print or third print. I'd probably pay $1,250 maybe for it. I would not pay any more for that. But the reason why someone would and why someone might pay $3,000 is because historically in these trading card games, the first print has a massive provenance and a massive premium because it's the oldest, it's the most significant, it's the true first print, first edition of these cards. And historically, I would agree and say that commands a significant premium. There's reasons why the price is there. And it quite frankly just makes sense. For example, Pokemon. If you look at the first edition base set Charizard versus an unlimited base set Charizard, so kind of think first print versus second print, or even look at base set 2, third print, if you will, like third edition of that card. The multiples for the first edition is extremely significant. You're talking like 10x in some cases for a first print Charizard or first edition Charizard versus a base set Charizard. Now the difference there is that Charizard has a first edition stamp on the card. So there is a unique identifier that symbolizes, hey, this card is from the first print, the first edition of Pokemon, some of the first cards to ever be released that created this entire industry that now we're all involved in terms of the trading card games. And so there's a lot of provenance there. There's a ton of significance, and it makes so much sense that that card commands a premium because it has that first edition stamp. So people are treating first print Lorcana as if it's first edition Pokemon, right? Because they're both the first of their respective trading card games. Now, the difference between Lorcana and Pokemon is these cards inside this booster box case, whenever you open the case and you open those boxes, there is no unique identifiers. There is no first edition stamp. There is no stamp whatsoever, no date whatsoever that ties it back to being out of this particular box. Now, what people will say is, and fair play to them, right? They say that the first printing, so the cards in this box, if you're lucky enough to pull an enchanted, they would say that these cards look much cleaner than other cards and other printings within Lorcana. They'll say that the colors are more vibrant and that they can tell side by side an Elsa from second print versus an Elsa from first print. I personally have never been able to tell the difference. But at the end of the day, some people like to collect the first print wave because they can tell a difference and it has significance to them. And I'm not here to shame anyone how they collect or how they go about their business. I just want to inform people who might think this has a first edition stamp or has some sort of significance similar to Pokemon when it truly does not. So the people who collect these cards will say, Michael, I can tell a difference. I like to collect them. And to that, I say fair play. Do what you want to do. I'm not here to shame anyone on how they collect. I welcome it in any variation that you do. Now, the reason why I think these are overpriced is because it does not have a first edition stamp. There is no way to tie this back to the first print box. And the second that these boxes are open, let's say you bought this case and you bought this case and you bought a case from me of just like second print, third print, whatever print it is, and you opened them both. Let's say you pulled an Elsa out of each. You sent them both to PSA to get graded. They both came back 10s because most of the time Elsas are getting 10s anyway. It's got an 80% gem mint rate, give or take a few percent there. And then you listed them on the market and sold them. They would go for the exact same price. The cards that come out of this box are identical to the cards that come out of any other box, apart from people saying that, hey, I can tell a difference between these two. But the grading companies do not. And at the end of the day, if the person who's putting this in a plastic case and people are paying a premium for the cards are not willing to identify any sort of difference, then there should be little to no difference in the value of the box. Now, where I will give First Print credit and say that it does have some sort of increased provenance or significance are where there's variance where we can tell there's a difference. So there's roughly, I haven't looked at this for a while, but roughly 6 to 8 cards within this box. They're not like enchanted or anything that have errata errors. What I mean by that is the text in the box of these cards is different than what they actually meant it to be, and there's a corrected version that came out later. Those cards you can prove are from the first print because they're not corrected, and so those will command a small premium. In addition, right now there is the only one that we know of, the Genie, that was reprinted in the later sets, the Enchanted Genie Power. I think it's Powers Unleashed. Don't comment. No, that's the D100. I can't remember the name. But the Enchanted Genie from the first chapter, on the first print wave, it has 2 swords up in the top right corner if you're looking at the card, and the corrected version only has 1. And so there's a small difference there that signifies that it's first print versus any other printing. And so that's one card that I think makes sense to have a little bit of a premium because you can tie it back to first print as we understand it right now. Other than that, apart from it being speculation of I can tell the difference with my eye that the colors are different or the ink's different, or however these people just look at it and they can see it without it being any like unique identifier or something established on the card like the swords, the errata errors, etc. Apart from that, there's no difference on any of the other cards within the box, and so that's why I say if you were to pull an Elsa, you were pulling a Belle, you were pulling Aurora, you Tinkerbell, you take your pick. You send it off to get graded. There's not going to be any sort of identifier on first print, second print, third print, etc. And so if you want to pay a small premium for the errata errors, for the chance of getting the Genie, things like that, I think that makes sense. Once again, is that 1,250? Is that 1,500? I don't know. You have to decide what's right for you. I personally just fall more within that range rather than a 3x multiple of the actual sealed case. And once again, guys, I want to specify that if PSA, for example, ever does begin to, they find some way to identify first print Lorcana versus second print, third print, etc., and they start to establish that on the labels as differences, then everything that I'm saying, I'll have to eat crow and I'll have to take the, you guys can all take a victory lap, etc. I just don't think that time is going to come. And so I hate to see people who are new to Lorcana maybe think this is first print and will have the same prominence that maybe Pokemon does, when at the end of the day, there is nothing different about these cards. And that was strategic from Ravensburger. Ravensburger did not want to have a first edition card out there and then print different variants like base set 2, base set unlimited, etc., like Pokemon did. They didn't want to go that route. And so they have strategically made the cards like if they print an Elsa today, it is going to be identical to the Elsa that was printed in 2022 or early 2023, whenever they printed it. And so I just want you guys to know that as you're looking at growing your collection, you're getting into Lorcana. Maybe you've seen the recent rise in Rise of the Floodborn or the recent rise in the first chapter and some of these sealed boxes, and you say, hey, I want to have some of this for the future, more of a long-term investment. Know that this box, while it's, and look, once again, I do not agree with the market here. The market says it's a $2,000 to $3,000 box. Like I said, back in August, unless the sale was fake, there's a sold listing on eBay for $3,500 for this particular case. Let me see if I can't find that here really quick. We had 3,000 sold on October 4th, so that was just 10 days ago roughly. There was one that sold for sub 2,400. We'll give it one more second here. 34.75. Buy it now. That was on August 27th, so a month and a half ago. One sold for 3,500. First chapter booster box case, assuming that's a legitimate sale. We're seeing sales at 3,500. We're seeing sales, offers accepted at sub 2,400. So there's a wide range here. I definitely, if you gave me the case, you gave me the option between 3 cases of second print, third print, whatever print, versus 1 case of the first print. Give me the 3 cases all day and twice on Sunday. I feel like I feel like there's just no reason for the premium that does exist on this case. Once again, the market disagrees with me. They say that it does have a significant premium. I don't think it should be anywhere near 2 to 3 times the cost of a traditional case. But at the end of the day, I wanted to make this video to just kind of share my thoughts again and then talk about it with you guys, because I know that the market disagrees with my opinion. I know several of you guys in the community prefer first print, right? And so we've had this conversation before, but I just want to hash it out again because, like I said, my channel is growing exponentially. I think Lorcana is growing exponentially. I think more people are going into Lorcana, and someone might watch this video and say, "Wait, there's a first print. I want that." They go out and buy it. At the end of the day, I'm once again, I'm not here to shame anyone on how they want to collect. If you think it has provenance and you want to collect it, go get it. I personally you couldn't sell it to me for half of what you paid for it, essentially. But I am not the market by any means. The market disagrees with me. But that is where I stand. I just think that if it had any sort of first print, first edition stamp, any sort of indicator that consistently you could tell what is first print, what is second print, I think that it would be very well worth the premium. Unfortunately, that is just not the case. And once again, that is by design from Ravensburger. They did not want to have a first edition, a base set 2, etc. They wanted to have an Elsa from the first chapter. You could not tell the difference whether it came from 2022, 2027. They're all the same. Now that might change in the future, right? If they do some sort of first chapter reprint, maybe they will put a moniker on it that shows that it's not part of this first kind of initial wave of Lorcana and it's coming out the back end just to increase population. I don't know. That's pure speculation. I have nothing that's indicating that. But at the end of the day, I think that it's just it's important to have these conversations. I want everyone in Lorcana to know kind of what they're getting into and ultimately make the best decision for them. Once again, if they see this video and they think $3,000 is a steal for first print of booster box, a case of booster boxes, then so be it. I personally do not agree with that mindset, and I would love to hear your guys' feedback. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Please comment your thoughts on first print Disney Lorcana. Do you think it's worth the 3x multiplier? We'll say 2 to 3x, since some have sold below 2,400 roughly. Do you think that it's not worth it? Do you think the grading companies are going to acknowledge it? I just want to hear your guys' thoughts. That way anyone who's watching this video now or in the future can kind of see the discussion amongst the community. And look, at the end of the day, the market's going to do what it's going to do, right? This channel is not going to impact the sales volume of this particular product, but I just want to hear your guys' thoughts. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye.